Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Joan Vassos details her and Chock's journey as weirdness. Joan Vassos knows her relationship with Chock Chapel is unique. They met on a dating show and got engaged after knowing each other for just a few weeks. She opened up about how weird the journey is and why they aren't in a rush to marry. Joan Vassos details her and Chock's journey as weirdness. The Bachelor franchise takes a unique approach to dating and marriage. The lead dates multiple people at once and hopes at least one of them is compatible in the long run. While the show doesn't require an engagement at the end, it's what fans expect. After 2 decades of featuring people in their 20s and 30s, the show finally gave the older generation a second chance at love. Jerry Turner was ABC's first Golden Bachelor. Joan Vassos was a contestant, but left the show early due to a family matter. However, she was tapped to be the first ever Golden Bachelorette. After a few weeks of handing out roses, she gave Chock Chapel her final one. They got engaged during the season finale. In a new interview with Us Weekly, Joan Vassos said that viewers saw it all on TV but don't really know what it's like to be in the environment of the dating show. It's important that people recognize that it's a very weird journey that you go on when you do The Bachelor. You take a leap of faith right at the end, Joan said about her engagement to Chock Chapel. She added, "You're taking a leap of faith and then you go out and you start dating them, and that dating takes a little bit of time." Why they're not rushing into marriage. Joan Vassos and Chock Chapel are still in the early dating stages. Despite being engaged, they don't live together. They don't even live in the same state. They have completely separate lives but get together when they can. But fans are constantly asking her when they will marry. But tying the knot is the last thing on their minds right now. Joan explained, "We're spending time getting to know each other even more. There's no rush. I don't have a biological clock. I'm over that. I have 4 kids. It does add to the whole element of it. We're not dying to build a house together. We both have homes. We have all those things that we're not worried about doing." Golden Bachelorette responds to critics questioning relationship. Joan and Chock are grateful for the Golden Bachelorette experience and the opportunities it has given them. She was the guest bartender on a recent episode of Bravo's Watch What Happens Live. But one downside of the show is the focus from fans on when the couple will marry. Joan Vassos had a message for the fans. She said, "We're just having fun being together. I want to say, let us be together. Let's just have fun and date." She added, "We will get married, but we are not ready to plan a wedding out." When Joan Vassos signed up for the Golden Bachelorette, she expected romance, laughter, maybe a few butterflies fluttering inside her chest. What she didn't expect was Chock Chapel and the complete weirdness that would become their love story. "We weren't normal," Joan said with a laugh during a candid sit-down after filming Wrapped. "Everyone else had these polished love stories, sunsets, slow dances, candlelit talks. Chock and we had chaos. Happy chaos. Weirdness. And it made all the difference." Their first meeting had been a mess of miscues. Joan, ever the poised Golden Bachelorette, had been nervous, trying to remember everyone's names as handsome silver-haired men filed out of the limo. When Chock approached her, he tripped over a loose stone on the driveway, arms flailing in a glorious slow-motion tumble. Joan gasped and rushed forward, catching him just before he could fully hit the ground. "Guess I'm falling for you already," he had quipped, flashing a sheepish grin. Most women might have grimaced at the cheesiness. Joan had burst out laughing, that full, unguarded laugh that instantly melts barriers. In that moment, without either realizing it, the seeds of their weird little journey had been planted. From then on, nothing between Joan and Chock ever unfolded normally. Their first one-on-one date, it rained, not just a drizzle, but a torrential, sideways sheets of water kind of rain that left their fancy clothes soaked and their romantic picnic sinking into the mud. Instead of packing it up, Chock had suggested, dead serious, that they build a mud castle. Who says romance has to be dry? He said, offering Joan a handful of slop like it was a bouquet of roses. Giggling, she joined him, her once pristine white jeans brown and dripping within minutes. Producers scrambled to save cameras, umbrellas flew, and yet there they were, Joan and Chock, grinning through it all, laughing like mischievous teenagers. We realized early on that we weren't going to have one of those traditional, Pinterest-perfect romances, Joan explained. Ours was messy and funny and totally real. Back at the mansion, their bond deepened through strange traditions of their own creation. Instead of whispering sweet nothings under the stars, they had nightly weird check-ins, a ritual where they confessed the strangest thing they had thought, eaten, or dreamed about that day. One night, Chock admitted he once ate pickles dipped in peanut butter just to see if he could survive the experience. Another night, Joan sheepishly revealed she still sometimes talked to her houseplants, complete with different voices for each one. Every time he shared something bizarre, I liked him even more, Joan said. It made me feel safe to be myself, my real, unfiltered self. Of course, the weirdness wasn't without its hiccups. During hometowns, Chock invited Joan to a family event that turned out to be a fiercely competitive goat yoga session in his cousin's backyard. Joan, trying to be a good sport, spent the afternoon toppling over as baby goats perched triumphantly on her back. At dinner afterward, she found hay in her hair, and somehow, between fits of laughter, she realized she didn't want this kind of magic to end. We weren't trying to impress each other, she reflected. We were just being, and it felt easy, even when it was ridiculous. The pivotal moment of their relationship came late in the season, on a night when the cameras had stopped rolling. Joan was feeling overwhelmed by the weight of the process, the decisions, the pressure, the expectations of finding the one. She had retreated to her room, sitting quietly on her balcony when she heard a faint thumping noise. Looking over the edge, she saw Chock, below, on the lawn, performing an exaggerated, terrible rendition of a tap dance, wearing 2 frying pans on his feet instead of shoes. I thought, if I could make you laugh tonight, he called up to her, then maybe everything would be a little bit better. Joan leaned over the railing, laughing so hard she could barely breathe, tears streaming down her face. In that moment, she realized something profound. Love doesn't always look like a fairy tale. Sometimes it looks like a man with frying pans on his feet, dancing badly just to see you smile. When the final rose ceremony came, there was no sweeping orchestral swell, no perfect tear glistening on her cheek. Instead, there was Joan, trying not to giggle as Chock pulled a rubber chicken out of his jacket, for good luck, before getting down on one knee. He didn't offer a ring right away. He offered his heart. Messy, weird, imperfect, and totally real. And Joan, beaming brighter than any diamond, accepted it wholeheartedly. Now, months after filming, Joan reflects on their unconventional journey with nothing but fondness. Chock isn't everyone's idea of perfect, she admitted. He's goofy and impulsive and has the weirdest snack habits I've ever seen. But he's my perfect. Our love doesn't make sense to everyone. It's full of inside jokes, terrible puns, and ridiculous traditions, but it's ours. And it's real. The couple plans to continue their life of wonderful weirdness far from the cameras, splitting time between their 2 favorite places. Joan's peaceful garden, where Chock is planning to build a talking plant village for her, and Chock's family's goat farm, where Joan is now proudly a goat yoga champion. At the end of the day, Joan says, love isn't about perfect moments or glittering speeches. It's about finding the one person who makes your weirdness feel like magic. And that's Chock. Joan smiled, eyes sparkling. He's my beautiful, hilarious, tap dancing with frying pans kind of magic. Would you also like a bonus quote card with a cute fake quote from Joan about their weird love story?